beautifuls, this is Aromie here, and welcome back to Sounds of Her Love. We are here, a teacher has called us, and I'm assuming he's going to give us Carrie's homework to give to her. Sorry to stop you, I was wondering if you would know the reason as to why Carrie Dwin is absent today. We haven't received a call from her parents, so I thought you might know where she is. You have been hanging around with her lately, that is. No, I don't, sir. Sorry. Has this guy been watching me and Carrie? I guess it's kind of his job as a teacher to track pupil progress. It is quite notable that one of the most introverted students suddenly made a friend, though it still aggravates me that he's looking into our business. Okay, no worries. We'll give her parents a call later if we don't receive any word from them. I'm not sure if this guy knows about the relationship between Carrie's parents. He heads back into his classroom, leaving me by myself in the corridor. The thought of giving Carrie a call myself crosses my mind as I make my way back to my classroom. Yeah, man! I would have texted her in the very beginning, like, hey, are you running late or something? Cool air, the sound of cars, and the presence of local populace going about their daily lives surround me, right? Surrounds me, yes. Walking home from school has always been like this. Just time to think whilst I rush to get back so I can go about my own life. It makes me wonder whether things would be different if Carrie had come to school today. We did agree to walk to school together, but neither of us said anything about walking home together. I'm not sure why we haven't. Being able to support Carrie is something I want to do. After what her teacher had told me, I really don't think she's ill. Surely her father would have informed the school. They're never too keen on pupils missing lessons. I've had an experience of being berated for it before. Putting my hand in my pocket, my fingers naturally resting around my phone as I realized I had it with me. I did decide on giving Carrie a call, though I'd rather wait until I'm home before doing so. Something inside me knows the things we'll discuss won't be the same as trivial things we both embraced before. Step by step, I traced back my usual path down my street to and from school, quickly arriving home and making my way indoors. Inside, instead of the usual sounds of my father's boasting and my mother's retorts, I find my sister sitting down playing on her phone. It's something she would usually do. Why she's doing it downstairs and not in her room, I'm unsure. Oh, you're back! Yes, I am. Did you get out? Get let out early or something? No, I'm just a faster walker than you. She always has a way to be cheeky. Where's Mom and Dad? Oh, they went out. They said they would bring something back for dinner. Alright. Take off my shoes in the hall when I get the idea to talk about Carrie with my sister. She might be able to give me a girl's perspective on it all, at least I hope. Hey sis, is there any reason as to why a girl might not come to school despite not being ill? My sister turns her head and smirks at me, almost to mock me for her knowing asking something which would make me in-depth to her. Oh, did a girl you like take the day off? Very funny. Are you going to give me a serious answer? After raising my voice, my sister responds by giving me a solemn expression. I didn't mean to get loud, but right now I have more things on my mind than her jokes. Well, I wouldn't go if I didn't feel like it. That is, if I was depressed. Thank you, I'm sorry for shouting. By getting angry, I've created a sense of awkwardness between us. Doing so resulted in getting an answer from her anyway, one which isn't unreasonable given Carrie's situation. All I can do now is hope she's willing to answer my call. It's okay. Resuming with whatever it is she was doing, my sister takes hold of her phone, leaving me to part ways with her to head upstairs. Before me is a room all too common, and as always, all too messy. Looking around, I realize this will be the stage upon which I began my act to be there for Carrie, a girl who has grown on me so much over the course of a mere 7 days. The sounds of cars resonate through the open window, cause me to look outside and stare back at the melancholic expression. Is that really what I look like? The image is beyond me as I continue to listen to the melodic rhythm of people within the city going about their lives. Here I am, hesitating to call someone who means so much to me, someone who changed me. I was under the assumption that after meeting Carrie, I was able to bring her out of her shell. She told me otherwise, but I find myself thinking about how much she has done for me. How much we've been there for each other, neither of us even realizing it. The pounding of my heart acts as a timer, urging me on as I clasp the phone in my hands. All I have to do now is press the button. A pang of nervousness causes me to sweat as my breathing sharpens, unsettling my mind as I continue wanting to get this issue resolved. With an unsteady hand, I take the move to press call. Now it is up to her to answer. The phone rings slightly longer than I would expect it to if Carrie really felt like talking. It can only be assumed that she's at home. If her phone was anywhere near her, then she would have answered it by now. The ringing stops abruptly, causing me to feel a sense of relief, which is soon washed away when someone other than Carrie answers the phone. Hello? Who might this be? On the other end of the line is Carrie's father. I don't know many parents who would answer their child's phone, but at least I can ask him about Carrie. This is Michiko. Oh, that's right. You were over here the other day, weren't you? I'm sorry about what happened. I don't usually get so worked up, but there's a lot of things going on right now. All I can do is apologize for making you witness it all. I can understand. How is Carrie doing? She was in school today. I thought you might be calling about that. You're a good lad, you know? I've only met this guy once and he's calling me a good lad. On the other hand, getting on his good side isn't a bad thing in any shape or form. Carrie is in her room at the moment. She hasn't been down in a while. That's concerning. She's locked herself in her room. I think it's because she's upset about the relationship between me and my wife. Well, she won't be my wife for much longer. It's a complicated story. Did Carrie ever mention it to you? Not in any detail. She just told me to forget about her mother after Saturday. I think you deserve to know. It'll help explain what Carrie's feeling. I don't think I'm in a position to be involved with their family issues. Really, it's odd to think you would be willing to tell me this. Listening now, though, might make it easier to understand what Carrie's feeling, and if I want to help her, it's something I must know. Currently, we're going through a divorce, but that should be more than apparent. After we moved to Japan, things started to get rocky between us. My wife decided to go on holiday back to Wales, though her real intention was to get back with her ex-husband. I eventually caught wind of it after one of my friends spotted them together. She stayed there, but at the same time filed for a divorce. It's a complicated process when you're dealing with two countries. I was told yesterday that she also filed for custody of Carrie. What? Does that mean Carrie would also return to Wales? Yes. She's been upset since she doesn't want to leave. I think she has too much here that she would lose if she went back. It's not just me who'd she be away from. The reality's too hard to comprehend. A sheepish girl faced with another challenge in her life, having to leave behind her father and her friend in order to go back to live with a mother she has no fondness for. I knew from the beginning that I wouldn't be able to do anything. Being there for Carrie still won't change the outcome, but I won't resist doing so. Right now she needs someone there for her, even if it'll end up hurting both of us. If you want to speak to Carrie yourself, you're welcome to come over anytime, but I'm not sure how receptive she'll be about it. It feels wrong if I don't at least try to get my voice through to her, even if she returns me away. I just want her to know that I'm here for her. To know that, despite the pain, the people most important to her will give back everything in return. That would care for her, that I care for her. Do you think I'll be able to come over today? I don't see why that would be a problem, though like I said, I'm not sure how Carrie will react. Her reaction right now isn't really stable. All that matters to me is how she's feeling, which I know is far from good. I want to reach out to her. Alright, not anything. I'll be over there shortly. Goodbye. In a rush, I hang up on Mr. Irwood without giving him the chance to respond. Wasting time isn't an option. I need to get there as soon as possible. Heading downstairs, my footsteps resonate throughout the house, causing my sister to give me the water to look. Luckily enough, she doesn't give me an issue and goes back to using her phone. Passing through the hall, the doors open before me, revealing my parents home from their trip out. I don't have time to make conversation, so I slip past at the doorway, both of them giving me the same water to look as my sister did in the process. Where are you off to, son? I'm going to a girl's house! Upon hearing that, my father contorts his face in surprise, finally leaving me with a proud smile as I set off to make my way down the street. All I should focus on is being there for Carrie, a thought which drives me as I race my way to her house. Darkness fills the path towards Carrie's house, spare the street lamps which guide my course towards it. A long and winding one, in a metaphorical sense that is. This week has provided me with countless ups, but I guess it's time to face the downs. Knowing that Carrie is hurting makes me feel bad myself, something which I've told myself over and over. My emotional attachment to her is a big thought. Carrie's street is short, so it's easy enough to find her house. It saves me the time the time of looking for it in the darkness of the ever-looming night. The adrenaline within me rushes me further towards the door of her house. It's not necessary, but I feel that controlling these emotions would be a bad thing, on top of the difficulty to do so. It's Carrie's feelings I want to prioritize right now. Getting here as soon as possible helps me do that. My knuckles face the wood of the door repeatedly as I eagerly wait for an answer. I can see movement from inside, that of Carrie's father as he soon comes to open the door. Good evening, Michiko. I won't keep you stopped for long. Carrie's room is upstairs and to the right. If you hear Ace barking, I'm very sorry. He's like barking every time I'm talking, and then when I stop, he stops. And he's downstairs. Keeping things brief, Mr. Irwood gives me the direction to Carrie's room, despite me already knowing. I don't know how well it would sit with him if I told him that I've already been up there, so I just thank him anyway. Thank you. Sparing no time, I rush up the stairs as carefully as I can. Wearing socks and trying to race up there would be really regrettable if I were to slip. Though being too cautious also seems like a bad idea as well. The only thing I should be caring about is Carrie. Following the same path I took only days ago, Carrie's bedroom door stands before me, the gateway to a lonely, downcast girl. Knocking on it gently, my heart continues to pound in my chest as I wait for a response. Nothing. Out of instinct, I grasp the doorknob, but despite my best efforts, it won't budge. She must have locked it. I kind of expected it, but it doesn't change the fact that she locked herself away from the outside world, even for her own father. Slow movements raise my arm once again, and as I realize what I have to do. For all Carrie's concerned, it could just be her father knocking on the door. Hopefully hearing me as well can show her how concerned we both are. As I tap against the door once more, I make my call out to her. Carrie, it's me.
Huh?
A response, a small yet welcome one.
What are you doing here?
Her voice is filled with nervousness. Over the time that we spent together, I've noticed that she found it easier to speak to me as each day went on. Now, though, she sounds just as she did when I first met her. I came to talk to you. I want you to come to school tomorrow, Carrie. I abruptly managed to stop myself from adding I've missed you. Even though it's the absolute truth. You should just still say that. Spending time without her was different, even though that's all I knew before. I know you're not feeling good, but knowing you're like this, it makes me sad. I told you we were friends, right? I want to support you.
I'm sorry. I know. You're important to me.
You don't have to apologize. I just wanted to be there for you. And you can't be a rude ass bitch and not like ignore me. Well, not ignore me, but not text me that you weren't coming to school. What the heck, man?
I'm not sure if I'll feel like going. It's complicated.
Only a thin piece of wood separates us as we both stand in silence. A wall between us, between our feelings. I'm not sure what I should do. I'll be waiting for you tomorrow, Carrie, where we normally meet. Good night, Carrie. That's right. Get your butt out. On a whim, I turn myself away from her. It's a painful thing to do, but actions speak louder than words. Trying to break into her room wouldn't have done either of us any good, but telling her I'll wait no matter what might let her hear my feelings in a different way. I'm not sure she responded, though she doesn't come out after me. It's an odd thing for me to be so familiarized with her house after only knowing her for a week. I mean, I'm assuming the house is small. I should live in a huge mansion. That'll be a different issue. But that thought doesn't stick with me on the trip down the stairs. So how did it go? Her father stands in the hallway, showing that he was waiting for me the entire time. I don't know. We'll just have to see. They are plain and simple words, yet they hurt me so much. Having this uncertainty between us all makes me feel bitter than anything. It's okay. Carrie is usually quite stubborn. Would you be staying for dinner? I know a meal with a 37-year-old Welsh guy isn't exactly on everyone's bucket list, but it would be impolite for me not to offer. Thank you, but my parents had brought back something for the family just as I was leaving. I'm sure it'll be quite a ruckus when I get back. It's alright. I hope you enjoy your evening, Chico. Thank you for speaking to her. It's okay. It was something I wanted to do. I'll be off then. Goodbye. Carrie's father sees me off with a wave as I walk out of the Irwood household. Thinking about it now, his words don't make much sense to me. Describing Carrie as stubborn is definitely a contrast to what I know her as. In fact, I would describe her as pretty compliant. I guess things are different when you're a parent. Maybe it's just how Carrie acts towards me. At least I hope it is. The morning sunlight blinds my eyes on my walk towards school. More importantly, towards my typical rendezvous point with Carrie. As I get closer and closer, I dote upon what Carrie means to me, my relationship with her. It's a strange thing to think about, but as time goes on, things will start to make more sense to me. As the usual corner of the street enters my vision, the shy, braided girl isn't there. It would be wrong to say I didn't expect this, but part of me looked forward to seeing her adorable aura shimmer in the sunlight. Looking at my watch, it's still a bit early. Even if it was late, I would still wait for her. Being late to school doesn't concern me now. Cars pass by me one after another as the neighborhood starts to get into motion. Everyone on their way to work or to drop their kids off at school. It's a usual sort of thing for a weekend. weekday. Having mine be different yesterday really showed me how much I enjoyed the mornings before, going to school to be able to see her. Every day of my life before I had been absent of her, but meeting her really showed me how much of a wonderful person she really is. It's a shame it took a while for her to be able to show it to someone. The clock continues to circle around and around my watch, similar to the thoughts in my mind, constantly moving but never really going anywhere. 7:35. 7:35 soon passes without a sign of Carrie. When agreeing to meet with her, I would have probably embraced the experience walking down the road around this time to see her waiting for me with a mild smile on her face, one which I can only assume would quickly turn to a fluster as she would spot me approaching. None of that has happened though, or will happen. I can't imagine Carrie being that happy to see me. Anxiety grows within me, flowering from one of the most painful places for it to be in bed. Its thorns, my heart. It's been 5 minutes since the usual time we agreed to meet. Not particularly late by any standard, that is, any standard other than Carrie's. Every time we agreed to meet somewhere, despite it only happening on a few occasions, Carrie was always early on time, more so the prior. Maybe my words didn't reach her after all. Glancing up from my watch one last time within my vision, I see a figure. Despite the morning sunlight hindering my view, it's clear to me that a girl is walking down the street towards me. As she approaches, I can make out her hair, neatly braided, swaying in the light autumn breeze. Her attire, all too familiar to me, consists of a tan sweater which embellishes her figure. The harp insignia on her chest is quickly covered by her arms as she adjusts the red ribbon beneath her neck, blushing slightly as she looks towards me. It's Carrie. The sight brings a smile to my face. It usually would, but this time means a lot more to me than any of those ever could. I managed to reach out to her. She came. Her expression, however, does not match mine. She still carries a troubled expression as she advances further down the street. If one thing is for sure, there's still a lot of work to do before we can make things right, if that's even the right word. All the issues, all the problems that caused this situation are still there. Carrie is still upset.
Good morning.
Good morning, Carrie. Part of me wants to ask how she's feeling in spite of knowing the answer. I'm fine, she'll say. That's all it is. Fine. Fine is just a synonym for not good. A quick answer to get people off your case. Carrie knows how concerned I am, but prying into her feelings now would not benefit either of us. Today I want her to be normal, to experience a day of school like we usually would. Upsetting her by getting into the subject for parents would just make my efforts all for naught. Instead, I opt to just usher her along with me to begin our day of school. I think we should get going. We're going to be late otherwise.
Okay.
I expected her to apologize for being late. Nope. Didn't get that. But it doesn't really matter to me. Kara and I began our slow walk to school, despite having the clock working against us, but we're not in any rush. Dust shimmers in the air sporadically throughout the classroom, giving the day a sense of warmth as the autumn sunlight shines through the windows, all too much of a contrast with the bitter cold of the morning, leaving me with a feeling of unease as the issues with Carrie still linger around my mind, having left her not too long ago to get to class. Sorry, yawning. We separated on our sour note, neither of us really saying anything, but our feelings ever so similar. Ones of sadness, sorrow, and general awkwardness. Getting her to come to school was one thing, but for her to open up to me again will be a completely different challenge. If I'm going to make this date work, one way or another, I'll have to force her to talk to me, no matter how inconsiderate that sounds. Moving my body backwards, I stretch to alleviate the pain in my shoulders. Today is going to be long, but I've gotten through lessons before just thinking about Carrie. My game's frozen. Hello? Thing is, there's a lot more to think about now, including my feelings. The chimes of the school bell jolt me up from the slumped position of my chair. It's lunchtime, so getting outside as soon as possible is a priority. I want to meet Carrie outside her class for once. Springing up, I grab my bag and swiftly push my items into it in a disordered manner. These are things I have no time to be concerned about. I managed to be one of the first people out of the class, but it's expected that those who sit near the front will always have the upper hand. Carrie's class isn't much of a distance anyway. It seems that their class is still inside. Everyone in our year group is on the same corridor, so it's unsurprising to find myself joining the usual crowds who wait outside the other classes for their friends to come out. One by one, people flock out of the classroom. The entire event is quite a scene, as it's already been about 5 minutes since the lunch bell rang. Just how important was their lesson? In the time the sight of Carrie greets my eyes once again, she still holds the same expressionless appearance she had since this morning. It hurts to see. Hey, Carrie, shall we have lunch? Should we go have lunch together?
Sorry, I need to catch up with some work. I'm going to copy a friend.
Excuse me? As soon as I opened my mouth, Carrie seemed to go into a state of shock. Her words sound untruthful, as if she forced out the first excuse she could think of. As depressing as it is, the reality is that I'm the only person she speaks to in this school. She wouldn't have the audacity to copy off someone with her class. Wait, within her class. As she's not ready to speak, that's fine. The entire action itself going back on what I previously decided upon earlier. Forcing her to speak to me would probably send her into another state of shock. I'll let her go for now. And this is where we're gonna stop for today. I'm pretty sure Carrie is giving us some distance, because if we do move, she doesn't want to like be even more sad because of all the more time we're spending together. So she's trying to alleviate seeing him and me seeing her, so it wouldn't hurt as much when she actually moves. At least that's what I'm thinking she's doing anyway. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.